I got 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call this work session to order. Mr. Taylor called me this morning. He's gonna be out of town, asked me to fill in, so y'all bear with me. Let's try to make this as smooth as we did the last month's work session. The first thing we'll open on our agenda, we'll open the court. Invocation and pledge to be led by the District 9 Commissioners. Invocation by Jeff Gregory and pledge by David Thomas. Is that okay? Good with y'all? Then a roll call by Rita, the county clerk. Then we'll do the approval of the minutes from the March 24th commission meeting. Then we go into the announcements. Are there any announcements that need to be made tonight? Any announcements that we need to make tonight? Seeing none, we'll move right along. We'll set the agenda. Then we have the citizens' response to the agenda items. If they wish to speak, they can sign up. Then we're going to have a special presentation by the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff has requested an item on the agenda to award members of his staff. Do you want to give us any? Is the sheriff here? Okay, we'll come back to that later then on that. If he wants to let us know about that tonight. Then we go to the county mayor report. Mayor, do you have anything for tonight at tonight's work session?
Nothing tonight.
Man, we moving right along. Then we get into committee and board reports. Steering, Parks and Rec, Public Works, Budget, Finance, Codes and Zoning, First Responders. Are there any other reports that need to be added that had a meeting that's not on here? All righty. We get into active business. Resolution 202504-822, actual study for TCRS benefits, law enforcement. As discussed at last month's First Responder Services Committee, a new law taking effect on January 1st, 2025 will provide a hazardous duty supplemental benefit for public safety officers in Tennessee, offering additional financial support alongside with their regular retirement allowance. The law defines a public safety officer as a full-time salaried employee of a local government who serves as a sheriff, sheriff's deputy, police officer, chief of police, or other law enforcement officer focused on crime prevention and the offender apprehension. It also includes correctional officers and firefighters. To implement this benefit provision, local governments must pass a resolution authorizing an actuarial study to determine the financial liability and accept responsibility for the study's costs, which is roughly $400. After receiving the study, a second resolution must be passed to approve the benefit and accept the liability. Are there any questions from the commission on this? The sheriff stepped out. I thought he might want to, talk about this, or somebody had any questions for him. Do you know if he's coming back or not? Okay. 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 Do you have something, Ms. Kirk?
At their law enforcement.
Is this, I guess the sheriff can explain that better. I mean, it just says it explains it here for local law enforcement, chief of police. I mean, talking about police officer and firefighter. But if the sheriff steps back in, maybe if y'all got any questions, we can ask him, Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Beller, it talks about after the study's completed that, the second resolution of us accepting the liability, is that more liability than we're already liable for at the moment?
The sheriff is, he stepped back in. We talked about this deal. Do you want to explain this deal about, yes. If anybody's got any questions for you, I just read over this.
Yeah, MTS came up with this a year ago, the study, and took it forward to legislation, and they passed it 93-0. It's for law enforcement firefighters only right now. It's hazardous duty for people that's been in law enforcement or firefighters for at least 20 years. And you got to be at least 60 years old and 20 years of service to be able to qualify for it. And it'll run until that officer dies or when they start drawing their social security benefits, it would go away. It's just a little bit more increase in the retirement benefit. And $400 the state charges to come in and do the study, just figure out what the amount would be.
Mr. Grigger?
This had come up during the first response committee meeting, and I think I had asked the question at the time, and Amy didn't have the answer then. Part of the thing with this was to qualify to participate in this supplemental benefit, the law enforcement, the retirement pension fund had to be funded to a particular amount. Do we know if we qualify in that regard?
Well, we'd have to do the study to figure out what the amount would be.
That's mine.
That's what the study is. Well, it's gonna be county funded, but that's what the state.
I think it's 70% county and 30% employee.
Anybody else got any questions for the sheriff on this?
While the sheriff's up here, he will go over the special presentation. Number 9.
I believe I'll just wait on that one, when we get everybody here. It's just, what we had with Randy Linville and, Life Saving Awards. Could recognize the guys that was working that day and, yeah, he's lucky to be here with us, you know. The quick response with everybody, what really helped him out.
Thank you, Sheriff. We'll move right into the next resolution, 2025-05-823 ECD road names, Drake, Mallard, and White be on page 25 of your packet. The Emergency Communication Board 911 met on April 8th and have named 3 lanes for emergency identification purposes. These are not county maintained roads. Somebody got any questions on this or any discussion? All righty, we'll move right along to ordinances. First ordinance, 317-2025-04. It's on page 30 in your packet. The first being the impact fee increase. This ordinance will also need a third reading. Third reading can be held this month if that is the will of the body by a 2/3 vote. Are there any questions from the commission on this tonight? Man, we're doing good, moving right along. Number 2, ordinance 318-2025-05, a rezoning, C2 to A1, or C2, that's what we got. Page 31.
Why would it need 3 readings? When most time are just 2.
Excuse me. You're correct, but it's in the nature of a tax and not a fee. A fee, you'd have to do that, but your charter calls for taxation. And it's, we looked at it earlier and I've determined that it's more in line with what you would require for a taxation than an actual fee. So that's why your charter calls for that.
So like,
To impose at some point a license plate. I always forget what that's called, but you know what I'm trying to say. The little sticker, wheel tax. Would it need a third reading too?
I believe so.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it requires 3 readings.
Okay.
Well, let me strike that one moment. I have to look at that statute, okay? Your charter is not going to abrogate a state law, but your state law is going to prevail. For the purposes of what we're talking about right now, I believe you're correct. That would require 3 readings. But I still want to look at that wheel taxation statute because it's under a category of privilege tax, and I always have to want to look at that. Okay.
All right, we'll move into ordinance 318-2025-05, rezoning C2A1 to C2R3 on McMurray. This is on page 31 in your packet. It's the second ordinance for public hearing and second reading, being a rezoning of the property next to the high school. Front to remain as commercial and the back to be rezoned as high-density residential. Ms. Mahan, do you have anything to add on this?
Similar to what we talked about last month, they do already have a concept and they are very interested in doing townhomes there to help provide housing that is going to allow those to walk to the high school and keep that commercial in the front.
Any questions from the commission on this? All righty, we'll move into the first reading of ordinance 319-2025-06, residential door trash pickup, residential door trash fees. It's on page 35 in your packet. Our first reading will be held on ordinance 319-2025-06 to increase residential door-to-door trash fees. It was last increased in 2017. Commissioner Thomas, do you have anything to add on this?
Yes, just for clarification purposes, this is not residential. This fee schedule will be for your commercial door to door. Residential is, well, no, it does. The bottom service there at 24 will be the residential also. So this will be both residential and not dumpster fees, but just your regular can pickups.
So it went from, right now, the trash fee for a can is 19. It's gonna go up to 24 for residential.
The reason for the increase was for the increase that we were having to face with Smith County raising our new contract to $50 per ton from 37. So we had to increase to offset that. Also, we've been just giving trash cans away and those trash cans are now out of warranty. So now the county's having to eat that cost. So we're factoring the cost of supplying new cans into the monthly fee, all as one package. So residents will still be able to just bring their broken trash cans to the convenience center and get them either repaired or replaced.
You look on page 35, and it's got the fees now and what the fees will be. Are there any questions to commission on this? Man, y'all doing good. I guess we'll move into budget amendments. With electronic voting, all amendments can be taken in one motion. If there are any budget amendments that body wants to separate out, please state that next Monday. I think, Mr. Gully, you want to go over these? We took 2 or 3 tonight as one deal, or you want to?
If you look through these, the 101, you have the first 3 there can go together. That's what we did tonight as well. You got a fund balance draw and a reserve funds at the bottom, the 101, 20 and 21. Those were all approved favorable from finance tonight. All the rest of these could be put together as one as well, which were put together in budget and finance tonight. Everything in 116, 118, 131 and 141 could be placed together and approved, which they were tonight, favorably approved and sent forward. You have the only one is a fund balance draw. We did have one question. We'll try to have an answer for that if need be later. That is that $11,375. Was that an annual, going to be the annual maintenance of that software, or is that just the one-time software upgrade and there's a different annual maintenance? It is a software upgrade for the trustee's office.
Any more questions on these budget amendments? They all, like I said, they all went in front of the Budget and Finance Committee tonight with all favorable recommendations. Any questions on any of these for next Monday night? Well, all righty, we about through here. Next thing is public notary of applications approval. I guess Ms. Rita will have the names for us on that if we got any. Other business tonight, we got, Honorable Beller, is there something you would like to discuss tonight or wait until next Monday?
My apologies. I'm going to bring it up tonight and I'll await your decision because I want y'all to be informed of what you would be doing. There is a particular piece of property in Trowser County. It's located at 6450 Beasley Bend Road. That the roadway is on Beasley Bend is just absolutely being destroyed. We've got pictures of it. We've had, I know our highway department's been out there many times. I have received myself complaints from several of the residents in that area. I know law enforcement's been out there. These are heavy trucks that are going ingress and egress. It's just demolishing the road. I would respectfully, if you have the opportunity, just go out there and look yourself. What I'm going to be asking for is your authority, and that's your permission to file suit as necessary to put a stop to that and to recover whatever we can in the form of damages that has been caused by these trucks. So that's all I'm going to ask for. It is from the best we can discern, this company is Lynn Farms Construction. And the owner operator, from my understanding, is Matthew Lynn. He does not have a permit from Miss Rita. We checked. There's some other violations I'm not going to go into that deal with other state agencies that we're just going to try to put a stop to it as best we can. Otherwise, it's going to be, the road's just going to deteriorate to the point that it's just too much damage to it. So that's all I want to say about that. So just take a look at it, inquire of one another, inquire of the neighbors in that area. And next week, I'm just going to ask for your permission for authority to file suit if necessary. It's on Beasley Bend Road. 6450 Beasley Bend Road. So, other than that, that's it. Okay. From my understanding, yes, ma'am.
I think I know him.
I have a real quick question. Has anyone actually notified him and asked him, or has he?
I'm
gotten-
staring at the letter I drafted, this last week. It's going to go out tomorrow. I just noticed some editorial things that I need to, but he is going to be placed on notice.
Okay.
So that's fixing to happen. It'll be by certified mail.
I didn't know if someone had approached him already from an individual or a county or someone and asked him to stop, or if anybody's know that he's doing wrong, or if
He
at
will,
least someone tell him he's doing wrong, right?
he will receive official notice from me.
Okay.
Okay. That was it.
Any more questions or comments? Man, we about through here then. We get next thing on this, public comment. Anyone from the public that wishes to address the commission tonight, any comment from the commission? Now I hear a motion to adjourn. Mr. Ford.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
Chairman.
Mr. Crew.
If you go back to page 11, it's the Personnel Committee meeting that happened March the 4th. There's a section here in section 4, J2 overtime, that I was wanting to see. This got passed through that committee. I wanted to see when it was coming to the agenda.
Like I said, I just called this morning about doing this tonight. I don't know when it's gonna be called to agenda. Has anybody got an answer for this?
Doesn't the chair of the commission set the agenda? Wouldn't he decide when it becomes before the commission?
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, like I said, he'll have to put it on the agenda. Like I said, I got called this morning to do this. I don't. Which section was it where I can highlight this, or where we know what section was it on this on page 11?
It's section 4, J2 overtime. There's one particular sentence in that they want to change that really sent shockwaves throughout law enforcement and EMS. And I kind of need to know when this date's going to be, because there's going to be a lot of people here for that. Basically, the Personnel Committee has voted to change the wording. Holidays will not count as time worked for overtime calculations.
This is not on the agenda tonight, so if we've got it, you need to get it put on the agenda where we can bring it up, discuss. Anything else before we adjourn? I hear Mr. Ford made a motion to adjourn. I have a second by Miss Amber here. Thank y'all for coming. We made it through another one.